into it actually through my mobile phone. Some purists will be like, it doesn't actually look like film. But
Sell everything, going to another system. Would you actually jump ship from Fuji?
I think I would. No, I'm pretty sure I was singing to them.
Oh, were you?
Which is the thing I do, yes.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
What?
Hi, my name's Briar. I'm a Melbourne-based photographer and you're watching Framed.
So, welcome. It's nice to actually finally start everything and chat about photography with you.
Yes.
It's nice that it's actually a good day.
It's a beautiful day. Bit of wind,
Last time,
but we can deal.
We can deal with wind, but last time it was spitting actually. On the first episode,
no.
it was actually raining. So I was a little bit like
Looking
three
around.
cameras. I'm like, okay, don't die,
Yeah.
you know. But hey, thank you so much for being on the show. Now, let's talk first and foremost about you in terms of you and photography. Because let's be honest, last night when I was printing some of your photos, right there, I saw your Instagram and it was really aesthetically consistent.
Yeah.
And I need to know why that's the case. So before we get into that one, why photography? How did you get into the art? Tell me more about that.
So, thank you for having me, first of all. Real pleasure. So for me, I got into it actually through my mobile phone and having it. I had the Samsung S21 Ultra, still do. And it's got like space zoom, it's got optical zoom, proper. And I just found myself taking a lot of photos and really getting my creativity out with that. I was like, I actually really like this. And then I am a little bit of a pixel peeper. So I'd be looking at the quality and I'd be like, oh, I love this, but I just want it to be even better kind of thing. So that's what prompted me to buy my first camera, which is a Fujifilm XS10.
Okay.
It's kind of like an entry-ish level mirrorless camera.
Yeah.
And that really kicked everything off from there on in.
Wow. So the phone camera that you have, that's the one with like the one you can see the moon in, right?
Yes, it's got amazing moon pictures. It can do better moon pictures than my camera can because I have a short lens. So
it's pretty crazy where phone cameras now are, right?
Yeah,
so
it's amazing.
I swear Samsung just made that literally to take photos of the moon.
Yeah,
or something
it's
like
a pretty
that.
cool trick. I've done it a few times, you know, at a festival or something like that, and I'll be zooming into the moon and people behind me like, whoa, how are you doing that?
So with the Fuji though, so what made you go towards the Fuji system? Obviously you had a look at most systems, right?
Yeah.
So
for Fuji, I guess the biggest thing was I love their color. Like their color science is just amazing and it was very appealing to me. And I also, you know, I taught myself everything I know about it just through YouTube and the usual ways.
You can learn
all
all of it.
I mean, you got to. So it was appealing. The camera that I got, it's got the PSAM dial, whereas a lot of the other Fujis have like the little manual dials for everything. That was a little bit intimidating for me at first. I didn't know enough at that stage. Fuji, it was mainly about the colors, really. I think they're beautiful. I really favor towards like a bit of a filmic look. And
I noticed.
Yes, as the aesthetic goes. And they have amazing film simulations built in. And then you can also build on them with film recipes from like Fuji X Weekly website and a few others. So that really, I was very into that.
So with I know Fuji's got the film simulation. I don't know much about the Fuji system. So the film simulation, does that exist across the entire lineup or just specific cameras?
I'm pretty sure it's most of them. Most of the more modern ones anyway. So you know, I did have the choice of like I was looking at like the XT4 and other ones like that as well. But another reason that I got into the one that I had is because it was kind of marketed a little bit for blogging and things like that as well. And I do acting and I have to do a lot of self-taping. So I was like, I want the video components as well.
That's right.
And whatnot. So, yeah.
Wow. So when it comes to, you mentioned the story from going from phone to normal camera, camera, right? Well, don't hate, okay? Don't hate. I'm sorry. But, okay, to a mirrorless camera.
Yes.
What about I guess, the filmic quality of photography do you gravitate towards? Like, I know that's kind of abstract in some sense, but
I don't like, I maybe don't even really know. It's just, when you're drawn to something, but I do like the grainy quality, sometimes a little bit too much. And just kind of like almost a little bit more like muted colors and things like that.
yeah,
And I don't know, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Like I
that
love uh, looking at things and they look like they're maybe not just like a digitally made thing. So
yeah, right.
yeah, I guess that's what appeals to me.
Especially when it's right now, everything it looks so clinically correct,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, did you ever think about shooting on film?
I didn't really, to be honest with you, and that's because I take so many damn photos. So it's
It's an
just,
expensive hobby.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was more appealing to me to make it look as though I was shooting on film. And I know some purists will be like, it doesn't actually look like film, but
Yeah.
I love the aesthetic of it and love what I can do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The Instagram photos that you have, I mentioned it earlier on, aesthetically congruent, aesthetically consistent, okay, which is, in my opinion, very unique. Because
Really?
I mean, you look
Okay.
at other photographers, I'm a general photographer, right?
Yeah.
So I love pretty much having a camera on hand with many different lenses, shooting every different type of photo.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't have consistency in the sense that my Instagram page is everything.
Yeah.
Right? So what made you choose? I know you said nostalgia, but guide me through kind of what happened there. How did you land on that
So I
look?
think probably, especially more recently, my Instagram is probably pretty congruent because it's a lot of my travel photos from last year.
Ah, okay.
But I am actually like, I love architecture photography. I'm a big birder. I love bird
Yep.
photography. I love street photography.
Yep.
I love landscape and travel.
Uh-huh.
So I do actually err out a bit, but I guess what I really enjoy as well is editing. And I think I edit a lot in the same way. Like I prefer usually a bit of a warmer palette. A lot of the time, you probably see that warmer tones and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the congruency there is a lot of my travel photos were from last year, and I was playing around with, I'd baked in some recipes into my custom channels.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's probably what you can see. And
Right.
yeah, I get like obsessed with something for a little while and then I'll move on to something else.
So
And
has
rah,
that
rah, rah.
changed the look? Has it kind of evolved, you think, over the last,
Maybe, but also I'm kind of still in that zone. And confession, I'm only just editing and putting out a heap of my photos from last year, so
Yeah.
it's taken me a while.
Yeah.
But I'm getting better at it. I'm learning more what I like
Yeah.
and using the tools better. So it has changed a little bit, and I do kind of at times. Most of the time now I shoot in RAW rather than
Yeah.
JPEG, which is the film
Yeah.
simulations have to be JPEG.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
can't shoot. Can you shoot simultaneous?
Yeah, you can shoot
Okay, that's cool.
simultaneous, but it doesn't apply
Yeah.
obviously in
Yeah.
the same way. So now more so I shoot in RAW and then edit it to look that way if I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I'm not always going for such a filmic look these days, but still a lot of the time.
Yeah. So the ones on your Instagram, is that like your custom preset that you've kind of liked and then you reuse and used?
So I think for those ones there, especially the more recent ones, they are film simulations, but then I go in and edit after the fact. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
I have to get stuck in. I
Well,
want to do
why
straight out
stop?
of camera, but
Yeah.
I have to fiddle. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so
How-
I always want to do more.
Yeah. So film simulations, how many are there to choose from, and how many do you gravitate towards?
There's
There,
honestly endless. It's
really?
like any kind of film stock you can think of. Some brilliant person has gone and decided, all the settings that you can use, especially with Fuji, because this simulation's built
Yeah.
in already. You can really build off them. So, yeah, I think there's like 4 custom channels on my camera. So. Yeah, I just use what I use, and then sometimes I usually will change it up if I'm like not liking something after
Yeah.
a while, or I tend to, I'll have 4 set up, but I'll probably use 1 or 2 mostly. Yeah.
Man, kind of want a Fuji camera now.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a gear hoarder. That's a problem that I have. Look, but the problem is I've invested on Sonys.
Yeah, I know.
They don't have film
I want
simulation.
a Sony though. Yeah.
Come to my side.
Yeah, we all want what we can't have.
That's true. But that film simulation, look, I'll be very honest. I like going street photography, as you mentioned before. And there was one time where I think I spent 6 months just shooting on JPEG because I don't want to think that I can recover it, right? I want to shoot everything as I see it. And if I make a mistake, well, that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
And I kind of treated it like that for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was one of the most fun, like, shooting periods of my life.
Yeah, it'd be quite freeing.
Yeah, because I'm like, look, I don't need to edit this. I know I love editing as well.
Yeah.
Are you a Capture One or Lightroom or
I'm
Photoshop?
a Lightroom
You're a Lightroom.
girly. Yep.
Yeah. You could try Capture One. Not just you're
I
trying to Sony. You might as well try Capture One as well.
Your shout.
Yeah. They do charge for it. I mean, actually, to be honest, Capture One's a bit more expensive actually
Really?
than Lightroom,
Oh,
because you get the entire Lightroom Photoshop for like $20-something, I think.
Yeah,
per month
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now Capture One is like in Australia, anyways. I think I'm paying the old fee, which is like $31 per month.
Yeah.
That's just the Capture One.
Yeah,
Now they've
wow.
upgraded it to like $45 Australian. So
Quite the
that's why I don't want to cancel it.
Yeah.
Because you cancel it, I lose that old pricing. So
Yeah.
so let's talk about. We've talked a little bit more about the gear, but have you ever considered, like, if you had the choice, you know, sell everything, going to another system, would you actually jump ship from Fuji?
I think I would.
Yeah?
I think I would. I really love...
Oh no, Fuji. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fuji.
I do love my camera though, and you know, as your first one as well, you're like super
that's right.
nostalgic about it. But yeah, I've thought about going to a Sony. I cannot currently afford a Sony, so that's on the back bench for now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I would definitely consider it. You know, even having a couple of cameras to choose from would be a-okay with me.
No, that's true. Have a Sony, have a Fuji. I mean, no one can say that that's not allowed, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that every system got its own lenses. By the way, what lens do you shoot with?
I've only got the kit lens, so it's a 16 to 80,
Wow,
and
that's a
4
good range.
to 16, I think it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do want a faster lens, maybe a prime or something like that. So that's probably my next step, because I think then I'll be able to get the most out of the body.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes my current one's a little bit slow, and in low light and things like that, it's not the best.
But you get the grain though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You get the grain.
Yeah.
You get a ton of grain.
More than even I desire. So yeah.
Grain overboard. So
Yeah.
which one are you biasing towards when it comes to your prime, if you had a choice? 24, 35, 50, 85? I mean,
That's a hard one. That's my constant battle. But maybe
Grab
I
'em
think
all.
like the 50, 85 kind of zone, because I notice that I do tend to do a lot of, you know, longer zooms.
Yeah.
I do tend to really close in on things,
Yeah.
and like I love it for architecture, things like that. You can kind of get a different perspective on things that you don't necessarily see when you're just walking around and looking at it. So, and also, you know, for my birding and things like that, I've kind of stopped doing it because it frustrates me. I'm on heaps of bird groups and I see all these like amazing photos, and they're on like 300 millimeters or something like that, and I got my little 80 trying to get in close to the birds, and it's just it can be a bit of a nightmare. But
well, you just need full camo. You just
I
slowly walk
know.
up to the bird, right?
I'm pretty at one with my my local fairy wrens at my local park. They kind of let me come pretty close, but other than that, yeah, it can be such a struggle.
Your camera, is it crop or full frame?
It's crop, I
Crop
believe.
and
Yeah,
megapixels? Just
26. It is.
that's not bad. You can punch in quite well on that.
Yeah, it is good in the right environment, especially. It's really good. So yeah, that's why I think getting a better lens, maybe a prime or something,
Or
with
just
the
go full
large
shebang,
aperture.
the 200
can...
to 600.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the gigantic lens. I mean,
I
you'd be
know.
walking around.
I've considered, I've been on Google late nights, like, I could do it. And then, no.
No?
Not justifiable right now.
Just your fairy wrens, you'll be able to do portraits of
I
them.
know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Get to really know them.
So, okay, so now we're going to go and check out some of the photos that you sent. So essentially, for every guest that we have on the show, we ask them to submit 3 photos. One is a photo that resembles their creative essence. The second one is a photo that they're most proud of. And the third is a photo that was most challenging to create. Thank you so much for sending them through. I did print them.
Yeah.
for us today. Now, I didn't quite remember the order. Which one is number 1, 2, and 3?
So one,
One,
two,
two.
three.
Okay, there we go. All right. So I love this, by the way. To be
Thank you.
honest, all of them stood out to me because, again, they're all aesthetically the same.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if you can see that, but that's all aesthetically the same. So this photo,
Yes.
tell me how that resembles your creative essence.
So this is a hotel in Lake Annecy, France, and actually the hotel was up this way,
Oh, right.
and I've turned it around because we were walking past it one day. I'm like, that looks so cool. I
Yeah.
just love the clouds reflecting on it. It kind of looks like an old television set to me,
Yeah.
like back in the day. So yeah, I just thought that's kind of what I love. I love seeing things in my way and putting that forth to others through my photography. You know, I used to think that I'm not really a creative person because I can't draw or paint. And
Because, yeah, creativity only draw paint, right?
I know,
Yeah.
very single-minded of me at the time. But then I realized actually, you know, I am quite a creative person,
Yeah.
and through my acting and through my photography, I can let that out and yeah, just put across my perspective basically. And I think it's pretty unique to me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That resounds to me as well, by the way, because I used to not think I was artistic because I can't draw.
Yeah.
Or I can't paint. I can't do that, the artistic
Yeah.
stuff. But when it comes to a camera, you give me a camera and it comes very naturally to me.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't know where that comes from. The whole artistic thing has to be,
It's bloody art class at school.
it probably is because they don't have the budget to show you
Yeah, of
photography.
course, yeah.
Unless of course you're in a posh school, I guess.
Yeah, I was.
But so let me have a quick look at this one. So the orientation was supposed to be this direction, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's how the hotel is. It's got
I mean,
like
it
poke out
works.
kind of thing, and they catch the light. It was a beautiful day, as we had many beautiful days over there. So
I'll be honest in saying I didn't actually realize the orientation.
there you
Like
go.
I thought, that looked to me like it was reflecting from the top, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the cool thing about this is, number one, it shows, I just love the angles of this thing.
Yeah, I was really happy with that one, and you know, we walked past that so many times, and it was just the
How many
perfect
photos-
day. I'm like, I'm getting it today. Yeah.
How many times did you walk past taking snaps of this thing?
I think I only did the once, and I've taken it from the other direction, but it's not as cool.
Like that?
No, just from like behind the
from behind.
boxes themselves. So, but you don't get the reflections and all
No,
that
no,
kind
the
of stuff.
reflection is
So,
what makes it, I think.
exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then the second photo, you're most proud of this one.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So this is.
I love that, by the way. Just
Yeah.
like the compression.
I love it
It's so
too.
cool.
So this is in Grindelwald in Switzerland, and my partner and I went up the mountain on the gondolas, and then we were coming down on some tracks and on some like scooter bike hybrid thing. I don't know. It was very fun. But we stopped and we took some pictures of the cows and the huts and all the things on the way down. And
Yeah.
I just love how this one turned out. Just this one, like giving the eye.
Yeah.
Just like watching you, and yeah, just editing a bit. I'm pretty sure I used a film simulation on this, and then
on
of course,
camera?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and then of course tweaked it. So
course.
I'm pretty sure this would be a JPEG file, and yeah, I just love the tones in it, love the positioning of the cattle just doing their thing, and then this one just watching, and yeah. What can I say? I just love it. When I look at it, I'm like, I'm happy I took that photo.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
100%. And so this one was with your kit lens?
Yes, yeah. All my photos that you're seeing are just with my kit lens and my
Wow.
XS10.
How far were you on that?
I would have. This would be 80, I would say.
The full, full
yeah,
80.
yeah. Because there was a little gate in front of
Yeah.
us, or a fence to keep us away from the poor cows, let them do their thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been, and I'm pretty sure it was the other way around. I flipped it because I liked the angle of how the cow was looking a bit better.
And I like how, I like the faded look. So this film simulation, it really has got that kind of, that low black level.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of a reduced contrast, very vibrant.
Yeah.
And hey, look, there's a star cow.
Exactly. Watching you.
Watching you.
Judging you.
Look at this. I'm sure the cow's like, oh, it's another person with a camera.
Yeah, exactly.
How often does this have to
I
happen to me?
know. I'm pretty sure I was singing to them.
Oh, were you?
Which is the thing I do. Yes.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. So cows love music, right? And actually a different cow also in Switzerland, I think in Grindelwald. I was singing operatically. I mean, I'm not that great at it, but I did it.
Yeah.
And it was just like mesmerized, and they come towards you. So whenever there's like a field of cows, I'll like sing, and you'll just get a whole field will like come up to you. Yeah.
I will have to test this out.
Do it. It's so great. I have my cow song nowadays, sadly.
And just generally all cows? Like
that I've noticed, yeah.
that
I've come across, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I saw videos previously of like people playing a violin or things like this, and the cows are very interested by it, and they always come and crowd. So yeah, now I just when I stumble upon them, I'm gonna sing.
That is so cool. You know, I will say I probably on Capture One, I'm gonna try to replicate some of this film simulations because I dig them.
Yeah.
Like I love vintage looks. I have like inside of me, I wish I can exist in this world just shooting black and white.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
recently did that.
Did you?
Very fun in Thailand, yeah.
Oh man, it's so cool.
Yeah,
black
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I did a Try Film 400 simulation, I think, which is a black and white that Vivian Mayer, the photographer, used.
Yep.
And I had seen her amazing, iconic pics just before I went to Thailand on holiday, and I was like, I want to emulate that. Like, that looks amazing. So I did pretty much my whole trip to Thailand in black and white, and it was going to be one of the photos I brought in today, but yeah, I was struggling to choose between all of them.
Was it black and white, committed black and white in JPEG, or was it black and white raw edited?
It was committed in JPEG.
Ooh,
I know. I committed to the grain.
Oh, you committed. Oh, that's brave.
Thank you.
Committed your entire trip to black and white JPEG.
Yeah.
Cannot recover if you wanted to. Ooh, that's nice.
And it was like some of them are a little bit grainy and whatnot,
That's
maybe
right.
a bit overly, but there's so many photos that I just love from that. That's a lot more street photography, people, whatnot, than anything. And yeah, it was really fun. So I get you. It's very tempting to go black and white. As much as I love the colors, I do love them as well.
Oh man, I wish maybe in the future, if I ever get successful in photography specifically, and I'm like, hey, I'm a black and white shooter.
Yeah.
Like hire me if you want black and white photos.
B&W, baby.
But that see, like it just limits all the clients. But then again, you only need a few if you if you get good clients.
Yeah. I don't think you could keep me away from the color long enough for that. But yeah, I love to do a bit of both.
Yeah. So last photo that we have here, most challenging to make.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, most challenging in that, so this is a pink robin. This is in the Otways National Park here in Victoria, at the Californian Redwood Plantation. So really what was most challenging about it is getting this bird. So it's a very elusive bird. I had heard that they're at Dandenong Ranges and at the Otway, and I was like, I really want to see a pink robin. I mean, they're so beautiful. The sweetest
cute,
little thing. So that's
pretty.
a male. And so we went to the redwoods. We were looking around. We went for a walk down by the creek, and I started doing some pishing, which is it's a sound that you can make that a lot of birds make, and it makes them kind of alert and whatnot.
Right.
So I was pishing into the wind, trying to get this.
So when you're not singing the cows, you're pishing into the wind. Okay, great.
Everyone's gonna know my secrets here. But so I was doing that, and then honest to God, this bird just came and landed like right in front of me on the log, like after my pishing, and I was like shaking trying to get the photo because I was so excited and to see it, because I just love them. They're so cute. And so it stood in front of me on this log, and it was pretty low light conditions, which my camera doesn't always do, well, my lens doesn't always do the best with. So between that, my shaking, and actually getting the bird to come out, it was probably the toughest shot for me to get, and I managed to get it. Yeah,
you actually got it.
Yeah,
did you fondle with the settings, or did you just go full auto on that thing?
I'm pretty sure I would have just gone manual.
Just manual?
Manual, but I have it on auto ISO, so
Yeah.
just because
Literally the best thing, eh?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know some purists may not like that, but
No, no.
you just miss so much if you're fiddling around like button.
That's right. I mean, if you got time,
yeah,
sure, but
exactly.
you
Yeah,
got no time for this one. Just
for
let.
flitting animals,
Nah.
street things like that, I prefer auto ISO, and then I can take care of the other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's so many photos from this shoot that are just out of focus and crap because I was literally shaking, like so, like, oh my god, like, I don't know what to do with myself. I wanted this to happen, but I didn't think it would actually happen.
My pitching worked.
Yeah, my fishing work, baby. So yeah, that was why, and I just love it. I love the colors, like the ferns in the background, and the obviously the pink and the navy of the sweet little birdie. So yeah, that was a great experience, and I hope to go back there sometime soon and try and get him again.
Film simulation or edited?
I'd say it's just edited. Because I would have done that raw.
Yeah.
Just trying to get as much, sharpness and everything that I could at the time. So that would have been all manual mode. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing these.
Thank
and
you.
I mean, these are yours.
Thank
so,
you. Yes, I was very
they
excited
were
about
beautiful.
that.
And I was like, look, one of the things I love doing is printing because you finally get a tactile feeling of your images, right?
I want to do more of it, and I was having so much trouble deciding. And I'm like, I think I'm having
Just
so
send
much
them all.
trouble because I want them all printed. I'm like, Briar, you can actually print them yourself, and you should. I think you should. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
that's right.
sure.
Of course. I mean, it's the only problem really is space.
Yes.
I mean, where are you going to put them, right? It's
yeah, exactly. And you're gonna buy frames and
yeah.
put them up around the house and everything. But yeah, I definitely want to do that a bit more. I've got a couple of other favorites that I'm just like, I really want to have that on frame. And
Yeah.
like I said, tactile, it's just
It is.
adds something more to it. I've got so many photos on
Yeah.
my cards, on my computer,
yeah.
everything like that. So it makes it a bit more special to print it out.
Yeah, it's like it manifests itself that moment,
Yeah.
I think I always tell people who ask me like, why am I in photography? And I always tell them, well, photography to me is like, every moment is a moment that you can't relive. So
Yeah.
if you don't take that shutter, if you don't click that shutter,
Yeah.
you can never find that again.
Exactly.
And now you print it and there's your moment.
Yeah.
Like you're literally time traveling.
Yeah, and you can attach your memories to it. And if you're someone like me that has a shocking memory, it's good to have. It's good to have the visual cues.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
What was that?
No, I took so many photos in our trip to the US a few years back.
Yeah.
And it's just, your memory just, it's shocking because you see the photos and you're like, I remember that, but only because I see it now.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So it's like, whew, even the better things for why we do what we do.
Exactly.
Photography.
Another great reason to get into photography.
Yeah. So you mentioned you're an actress. What's next for you in the area of photography? Award-winning actress, by the way.
Thank you.
There you go.
So next for me, definitely is going to be to upgrade my lens. That's one of my big things. And I think just getting out there more. I mean, in my dream of dreams, it might be something that I do professionally.
Yeah.
Despite my photos today, I actually love people photography, events, things like this. So I could definitely see myself going towards there and offering my services professionally once I, feel I'm up to the job. Bit of a perfectionist, like I said. So I always want to, be as good as I can be. But yeah, something like that, I think.
Nice. So if you had the option of dropping everything and then slotting into photography, would you do it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you would?
Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
I love the
And jump
taking
shit
the
over to
photos.
Sony.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow. Okay, so final thoughts for you. What would you like to say to the audience watching?
I just think if you are into photography and you're like me, I'm not a professional, I'm a hobbyist, and I just found something that I really love, a great outlet for creativity, and you should definitely give it a go. So much amazing gear these days. When I first started out, I just used the auto settings on my camera for a while and got used to it, and you can do the same. And yeah, you can learn so much through YouTube, through other people
100%.
that are willing to give their time. So I definitely recommend it if it's something you've erred towards, if you're using your mobile a lot and you're thinking, I love this, I love the feeling it gives me, get into it because it's great.
And you came from mobile.
Yeah.
And now you got a Fuji.
Look at me now.
And look at Look at you now. There you go. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I really, really appreciate your the time that you've invested here.
Thank
And thank you so
you.
much for showing your photos. I'll leave the link to your Instagram down in the description below. And look, smash the like button, as all YouTubers say, and hit the subscribe button. Why don't you? Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.